Oh, now, spoiler alert, now we find out why he hasn't been wearing his eye patch. Oh, it's because if he doesn't wear his eye patch, when he puts it on at the end of the episode, he's in disguise. Arr. Bonjour. So here we are again. The hilarity that I extracted from She-Hulk, the Star Wars, all the Dismal Miner stuff since I've been doing this channel. Okay, I've really hit the buffers with Secret Invasion because it is essentially so dull and boring and inept that there is nothing like when I would take so much pleasure out of pointing out the stupidity of Willow or She-Hulk, those two in particular. With Secret Invasion, it is just so drearily conceived and executed that I can't get that much entertainment from it. If we are led to believe the rumours, the budget for this show was $200 million. Well, I'll tell you what, if they spent $200 million on this, someone somewhere needs a proper slap. A proper slap. Last week's episode ends. This is going to be the review or whatever you want to call what I do every week for this shit show. With the president trying to be kidnapped and hijacked and murdered and I don't know what. And this week's episode begins with the president being wheeled into a hospital by two medics and Fury. There's literally no one, however you would imagine the end of the line for the US president, if he was to be an assassination attempt, whatever it is that's kicking off. Nothing, it just doesn't look right. The whole episode begins just being wheeled in. The president is on the bed, with a mask on, an oxygen mask, and there's two medics around him, and Fury. The hospital is completely empty. There are no other victims of the attack. It's not in emergency mode, emergency lockdown, whatever you would imagine. The local hospital, whatever hospital would be local to wherever it kicked off last week. It's just empty until the script needs more people. And Rhodey turns up. Rhodey turns up. We know he's a Skrull by now. We learned that last week. And he turns up and he goes, first thing he does, he pushes the door open and he's got two. One of the Secret Service agents has got his arm in a sling. We're all supposed to remember, I don't know where he copped it in the arm. But anyway, one of the Secret Service agents, and I am not going to watch last week's episode to see where he got shot in the arm or wounded. Bashes through the doors. Where's the president? This nurse goes, he's in that room. And he goes, you just betrayed. You just betrayed the whereabouts of the US president. You're a security risk. Take her away. And I know he's a Skrull. I know he's a Skrull. But there's nobody else in the hospital. Why was Rhodey even up on that level? Like, shouldn't he have been at reception? If he doesn't know, if he's going to test everyone, you'd start at reception, wouldn't you? Do you know where the president is? Yeah. Where is he? You're fired. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So Fury has decided to sit outside where the president is on his own. There's no one else about. I mean, I don't know where this hospital is, in the middle of nowhere, wherever they got hijacked last week. And he's sitting in his chair. Anyway, after Rhodey makes sure that nurse never works in any other healthcare setting ever again, he's suddenly up against the wall and Fury's got him. He's going, yeah. He's going, I know you're a Skrull. Rhodey's going, yeah. And they have this conversation. The standoff means nothing. There are no stakes here. The standoff means nothing. All of this childish way of trying to create a believable world just has led to basically Fury with his gun, and at the end of the conversation, pistol whipping Rhodey. And there's a Secret Service agent with his gun on him, trained on him. But as in other episodes, things are just allowed to happen. There are no consequences to certain actions from certain characters, because if there were consequences, it would make sense in the real world, but it wouldn't allow this particular story to progress. And Gravik, so Gravik goes back to his cult. He's the cult leader, ain't he? But they've decided, no, we don't really like. There's a few Skrulls there, and they've decided to betray Gravik. And instead of they catch him by surprise, and what they decide to do, what their plan is, bearing in mind this is a super Skrull. Their cult leader is a super Skrull. Their plan is for all of us to pick him up and put him on a table and punch him in the ribs. The plan isn't to at least chop his head off because he's a super Skrull. No. They've got to put a bag on his head and put him on the table while they all duff him up, while they all punch him. Why would you do that to a super Skrull? You've got to have a better plan. You've got to have a better plan than that. But out of this entire episode, Olivia Colman, bless her, and I can't see this being at the top of her list of favourite things to have done. But she does steal the show this week with some of the best lines. And you know, there's a couple of Skrulls, and you know, she turns up at their home, and this man and woman are walking in, and she goes, "Oh, hello, Skrulls." Which just, I don't know why it made me laugh. But she, "Oh, hello, Skrulls." Her character is, she's hamming it. I know I've said this before, but she's hamming it, and she's so over the top that it is genuinely entertaining to have that character in this mix, because everything is so dour. You know, in more capable hands, you could have the dour characters. Gravik could be the cult leader, the one that not even his own people like, but they're nevertheless following him. That kind of cultist thing. In more capable hands, you do get a glimpse every now and again of what they're capable. But Olivia Colman hamming it up. But even that, they're the couple that she confronts, the way the scene is so jarring because we're in their house. I think it's in England. I don't know. It could be. I don't know where. I don't know where it is actually. And then you're outside the house, and they're all lined up. We don't really get any indication because the last time Olivia Colman was confronting this couple, I think the guy's name's Nigel, was putting a silencer against the back of one of the Skrulls' heads. But then we're outside, and then he's not there anymore. He's kind of not really there, or there's been no way of incapacitating or at least restraining the Skrulls. They're just outside the house while they say, yes, let's burn it down. It's relentlessly pathetic. Relentlessly. There couldn't have been any, and it's like what my old mate Amber from the Hogcasts has said from a long, long while ago. It's like they're filming the first draft. And it was, and she said it, and do you know what? It rings so true more than ever with this show, because there just doesn't appear to have been any discussion after the first draft. And if you've ever tried writing and you get that first draft out of your system and you look back on it a couple of days later and you go, oh my God, what have I done? That don't make sense. That don't link to them. Everyone does it. And this is where you require your team, your collaborative ensemble to help you craft and hone. And the dialogue remains exceptionally pathetic. But just on a level, like I say, that doesn't involve hilarity. And I have been. Do you know what? I've been like a Middle-earth dwarf trying to mine this show for something. And do you know what? It is so objectively bland that it doesn't. There is nothing. There is nothing. In the last episode, and I did admit that it was quite a nice scene, and even that they messed up, where Fury and his Skrull wife pretend to shoot each other for the cameras, which could have been such a more powerful scene. And he says to her, "Watch out, they'll be coming for you." So what does she decide to do? She decides to stay in the house. Where's the first place they're going to look? She's just stayed in the house. She hasn't even moved. You know, they've had this relationship for decades. They haven't planned, how Fury, in my mind, would they have planned an escape route, a plan B, an escape plan, whatever you want to call it. The bailout plan, whatever it is, the best plan she can come up with is to say that I will face my enemies in the middle of my happiness in her house. It just doesn't make any sense. And I can't even, as much as that makes me laugh, it's so off the scale pathetic. Everything is so off the scale pathetic, and the episode ends. No, it doesn't end quite yet. Because Gaia, whatever her name is, Emilia Clarke's there, and for some reason, when they become attacked by Gravix people in the house where she's lived, and they know where she lives. For some reason, they go for these backpacks, like Fury's wife and Emilia Clarke, and they go, oof. And Emilia Clarke's got a sawn-off shotgun, and Fury's wife has got pistol, and they go, view, 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 and there's this really, really poorly directed action scene that doesn't resonate on any level at all. A bit like last week's one with the kidnap of the president, where it's just $200 million they've spent on this. Everyone involved should be ashamed, and I don't often do. You should all be ashamed of yourself, because it looks like one of the worst low budget action film sequences. Last week with the president, and this week in the Fury's wife's, or in their house. Absolutely ridiculous. Why they got a backpack on, I don't know. If it was a power pack for a laser gun and I was going dee dee dee, yeah. But for some reason they've got to put these backpacks on, and then they've got to stand back to back and pose. Now, if that was Black Widow and Captain America, I'm all up for that. When it's two Skrulls that look like Emilia Clarke and the actress playing Fury's wife, it doesn't land, not even 1%. It just looks pathetic and stupid. And the end of it, and the end is Fury. Fury's back. We're expected to think at the end of this 30 minutes, like, thank you for that at least. We're supposed to think that Fury's back, because do you know what? He's using his eyes to make things, the gravestone with a laser and a thing in it, and he's with Olivia Colman, and he goes, ooh, and she goes, oh, you've left here all the time, oh, here. And then he goes into the mausoleum, like this other bit of the graveyard in Finland. How they move around. They've moved around Europe so quick. I'm not even going to go there. I think I have gone there in previous reviews of this shit show. I'm not going to go there this week. They're just in Finland. It's near Russia. So, and it's near England, isn't it? So we're all around the same area, aren't we, really? And he's using his eye. But now, spoiler alert, at the end of this episode, he's putting on his leather coat, and he's putting on his leather eye patch. I don't know why I'm saying leather, as if that's a particular detail that is important, and it makes it sound a bit fetishistic, doesn't it? Did I say that right? Fetishistic? Say that quick 3 times. Fetishistic. So next week, no one's going to recognise him. Because the video, in this episode, the video's gone out of him shooting Maria Hill. So next week, he's in disguise. And there is no facial recognition that's going to pick him up. Because of R. He's a pirate next week. And that's all of. In the famous words, Forrest Gump, that's all I have to say about that. See you next week, please. If I've no, not even please. If I've got to put myself through it, the least you can do, and you know I'm only joking, all you nutters that subscribe and watch and like and comment on my videos, and you know I love you all. But you better be back next week, because I'm watching this shit every week, and I need you to back me up. Laugh with me, please. Or try. Other than that, I've got nothing else. I've got nothing. Even wearing my She-Hulk review shirt isn't even inspiring me to lofty heights of hilarity. And like I say, I'm trying to mine it. I really am. I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to find that sweet, sweet, sweet corn in the turd, but I can't. With this, there's nothing there. It makes me wish that. It makes me pray for a second series of Willow. Or the fourth series of Mandalorian. Or the second series of She-Hulk. Or should we just wait for the Marvels? Yeah, there's plenty more coming. There's plenty more. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. Adios.